All right. So, yeah, we are. It
Oh,
says
we're
we
live.
are live. Yep.
Oh, oh, you don't have an intro?
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm relatively new with this, so yeah.
You'd be like, hey guys, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, welcome to first live write-in on Writer Uninterrupted. And apparently, we have hit the ground running because officially we have fallen flat on our faces because that's inevitably what happens when you hit the ground running. So,
But everything is fixed.
yes. Oh, so, yep. It looks like we have one person watching, but I don't know who. So,
Oh, did you ever ask if Zach wanted to come?
he is at work.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Working
Hello,
boy.
Nat.
Hey, Nat. So, what are you working on?
I am still working on my novel. We have decided to title it The Manner of Wickedness because it is a play on words.
The Manner of Wickedness.
The Manner of Wickedness.
Nice.
Yes.
That's the one where she was like, I wish I could be just a normal person and not a witch.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be impregnated by a demon. No.
That's not what the popular kids are doing. That's what the weird ones are doing.
That is not romantic.
Hi, Mike.
There you go, Mike. Which one?
Yeah.
They're all two.
What I'm looking a little more like what's her name? Shirley Temple.
Yes. Yeah, because your hair has gotten longer.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
Or I was looking at it this morning when it was like starting to dry, and it literally made me think of, you know, those monks that have like they shave this part of their head and then it's just like a tuft of hair because for some reason the curls right here are flat. So when I look like this, it literally looks like there's nothing like
you're like you could wear like one of those little beanies on your head.
It's gonna be like one of those. It's an awkward hair stage because it is growing back. So it'll look like this for a bit, or I'll start looking like I have a mullet.
Mike says, Friar Katie.
Literally, like it's so flat right here because I was like reading, so I was like laying back.
Yeah.
And I just threw in the curls.
It's okay. All right. Nat says she's working on 2 stories away from my 13 short horror story goal. Almost enough for my anthology. Got a lot of writing done this past week. That is good.
Nice.
That is good, and I love that you're doing short stories because, here coming up very, very soon. You know, how I told you, Katie, that we were going to be doing, I have a whole list of things that we could be doing. Well, one of the challenges is we're going to see if we can get a whole bunch of people in on doing their own vocal media challenge to see if they can engage enough readers to read enough of their stuff to actually beat out the money that a lot of these vocal challenges.
Wait, what are vocal challenges?
There's this site called Vocal Media, and you can post your short stories or articles or whatever on there, and you get paid a percentage by the read of your page, or people can tip you.
Okay, I vaguely remember you telling me about that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
Yeah. And they do challenges and stuff on there and different contests, but I was thinking maybe we could figure out a way to do one of our own somehow. So,
like have some kind of like writing prompt or something. Because because when I used to get Writer's Digest, the coolest thing in the entire magazine was like, I think it was towards the end, they'd show a picture and they'd say, write the opening line to this picture or the closing. And it, like, during that time I was working on one of my other stories, and the picture they posted was like a man in a desert, and he was like looking at the mountain range as the sun was like bare, like it was setting, so it was like almost dark, but then the lantern was lit, and it said like, open your scene with this picture. And it helped me figure out a scene in that book where he's like burying a body in Vegas, and I'm like, I used to love those.
Oh my god, I did too, and a lot of literary magazines actually did the writing prompt, and sometimes they were for contests, like with Byline, and that was actually one of the things that got me started in doing what I'm doing. Was I overexpanded a short story on accident and sent it in as a novelette, but the first line was supposed to be, "I think you should sit down for this."
Ooh. See, that can lead in like something epically like amazing, like, yo, you had a grandpa that had like $1 billion and it's all yours, and you get a haunted castle. Or it can go horribly wrong, like, yeah, you remember how we're supposed to get married in like a week? I've been sleeping with your sister and now she's pregnant, so I think the best thing for me to do is to marry her.
Right. Yeah.
So she's just going to buy you out of your wedding.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, because there's so many different ways that can go. Or, as I lay here dying, it could either be an overly dramatic person,
where they just have a cold,
or right.
My fever's 99.3. I'm dying. I can feel it in my bones.
In my bones. Convincing myself I need a higher word count, or I need to start something new. I think I'm just addicted to write-in sprints, though. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm just an overwriter, so my word count is always high. Be like, Kate, I wrote a short story. It's only 150 pages. It's like, that's a novel.
That's a novel. But hey, I mean, you can still publish it. You'd be like, yeah. I mean,
read my first short story.
It's under 100K.
At least it's not flash fiction.
Right. You'd be like, for you, that'd be like 45,000 words. I'm just kidding.
Damn, that was fast. Flash fiction.
It'd be like the quickest 45,000 words you'll ever see in your life. Yeah. Yes. But that's why short stories are really cool, or as my nephew called them, he said they are basically the literature for those with commitment issues.
See, I have a love-hate for short stories. It's like, I enjoy them when they're really good, but it takes so long for me to get invested in a short story that, like, when I feel like the actual good stuff is finally happening, it's like you have 1 or 2 more pages left of the story, and then it's just over. Because there's this anthology called Hark the Herald Angels Scream that I think it came out in like 2018 or 19, and it's a bunch of horror short stories, and I've been reviewing them on my channel, and I still have probably like 6 stories left to read, and I just can't bring myself to do it because it's just like the grueling process of reading an entire story but only really enjoying like the last few pages of the short story.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's like, you know how you have in a normal story, like a full-length novel, you do have your like 1 to 3, maybe 5 chapters of build up to the actual story. It just seems like 75 to 80% of a short story is the build up to the story.
Yeah. Well, and that's why there's such a great thing about like flash fiction, because you know
45,000 words.
right, yeah, 45,000 words. Well, that's for all of all of us out here who don't necessarily do anything less than 100K, if if we're allowed. And so 45,000 words. But yeah, that's the great thing about flash fiction, though, is the fact that you have to boil it down to as concise as possible, but package much of the story in there as you possibly can in as an enjoyable way as possible. So that way it's a shot, essentially, as opposed to like, a full on beverage.
Yeah.
Basically. Not that we don't enjoy that. So, all right. Do we want to go over the first topic?
Sure.
With everybody? Okay. So, this write-in is going to be a little bit different, everybody. We have decided that we're going to go through a list of topics, and the first one that I wanted to cover today was, why do you want to write?
I'll let you answer that first.
Okay. Because I think the important thing when, jumping into something like this, whether you feel like it's something to, take very seriously or not take very seriously, either way, writing a book is a pretty big deal. So, nailing down your intention first before jumping into something like this is, I think, really important. And my intention for doing this is simply because I am obsessed with anything that has to do with story crafting whatsoever. I am literally, yes, exactly, same.
The stories must be told, or they won't stop bothering you.
Exactly. They will haunt me, for the rest of eternity until, such a time as they are exercised from my brain and onto paper and in people's hands. So the reason I do it is because I'm literally in love with it. And that's my motivation behind it. Whether or not, I make $1 million doesn't really matter. Just as long as I'm getting to put them on paper, put them in people's hands, and people are actually enjoying them.
Yeah.
Is my whole intention. So, I want to write to help people escape. Bring people joy, to scare people, make people think, and yeah, money would be nice too, but that's, yeah. Yeah, I mean, because, we are in this to get paid so that, we can do this full time and don't have, other things interrupting us from telling our stories, like, boring, supposedly real people jobs.
See, I think I lead with, I don't necessarily do it for the money, because there is the only like 1% of writers that actually like are Stephen King, like household names. But one day it would be nice to be able to live solely off of that, and then I can just write all day, every day.
Yeah.
But the reason why I write is because I want to tell the most fucked up stories that involve the worst possible human behavior. Like, I want, because I love psychology. I love the motivation behind what people do and why they do the things they do. And I want to put that in all of my books. So it's not as very in your face, like, look at this. This is a psychological like profile on characterization.
Right.
But if you peel back the like layers of everything, everything would add up for those who like really look into shit.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly, I just want to tell the stories that others are too afraid to tell. And because I get like when I read other people's stories and say like there's a death, someone's dying, someone's getting murdered, it always feels like they're holding back.
Yes.
And I want to be like immersed in that moment.
Yeah.
So that's why I get very bloody, very detailed, and just everything is total carnage. And like all the horrible shit that happens in life.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to write. I like to watch characters suffer.
Well, I mean, and that's another thing too that I think that I love about just storytelling as a whole is, and also the reason why I love the fact that I have, come out here into independent publishing as opposed to worrying about, a label and what they're going to say. It gives you this freedom to actually be able to come out here and not sanitize your fiction.
Yeah. And you're not being crippled by, okay, we're not allowed to say that. We're not allowed to do that. Like, this is why I, honest to God, believe that Breaking Eden would never, ever in a million years be touched by a professional publisher or a traditional publisher, because I could literally see this book being canceled for so many fucking reasons.
Really?
And I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest, because it makes people think. It's like, so say I have a character in there, they do terrible things, they act a certain way, they represent whatever. If someone were to come along and be like, you can't do that, I'd be like, but why? Are you telling me there's not one person in the world, in the entire world, that doesn't think, act, or speak like this? Because if that's the case, then it shouldn't be there. But I know people. And a lot of the times, like, my characters are based off of certain traits I've known from people in my life throughout, like, my entire life. And so it's nice to be able to put a little seed there, and no one else would know, but I'd be like, well, if you wanted to know, that character is based off of someone I used to work with. Like,
right.
And so I know that characters should act like real people. And it shouldn't be all bubbly and nice 24/7 or just hardcore evil 24/7. There needs to be balance.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, we have it in all of us. And I think that, that was one of the things that made classic literature so great, was the fact that it really, just just plumbed itself into the depths of the human condition and how, and I think that's another reason why I love things like Frankenstein. It's another reason why, because it gives you this sense that maybe it wasn't the creature itself that was the monster, but, the lack of humanity in the doctor himself is what was so monstrous.
See, that's one book that I've been wanting to read, but I just haven't.
But you should. You should. It's very good. It's on my read once a year list. And I mean, so as you can see, it's not very big.
Yeah, it's
but nice. But it's like 192 pages.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And she wrote it in 12 hours.
See, writers back then, there was like a different level of commitment. Like, you didn't have power. You didn't have TV. You didn't have internet. You literally had to go feed the pigs, make some bread, and then you had the rest of your day to write or do whatever, unless you were poor, and then you had to actually go work the peasant jobs.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Oh. Mike says Edmund Kemper beheaded women because he wanted to keep their souls enslaved forever as his spirit wives. Seems logical to me.
I did not know that.
I did not either. So is that a story? Or like, are you writing a story on that, Mike? Or was that just a fun fact?
He wants to try it out for himself. He's like, I'm going to see firsthand if this is real.
Like, cause if that is the case, what do you mean that?
Are you hearing feedback? Because I'm hearing like.
Are you getting backdraft?
Like it's like static. Try your headphones.
Oh no.
So people know the reason why we were late is when we originally got on here.
Yes.
It literally sounded like we were in the middle of like a waterfall or someone was like power washing their house. And now everything was fine, but now I'm starting to hear like the like weird staticky.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yeah. Technical difficulty gremlins. Away with you, Bob Saget. Okay.
Okay, what's the story behind that?
Well, no, whenever there's technical difficulties, we usually say Bob Saget. And so, yeah. So, yeah, whenever there's technical difficulties. So I call the, technical difficulty gremlins Bob Saget.
Makes sense.
Oh. Let's see. That's not quite my taste. I brought it up because Katie mentioned the reasons why terrible people do terrible things. Their motivations aren't always easy to understand. No.
Exactly. See, and that's why I think I have like an obsession with serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
Is because what drives a person into thinking, I feel like murdering someone today. Like, yeah, that's I watch a lot of true crime. I read a lot of true crime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same here. And like I've told you before, for some reason I cannot sleep very well without, the sound of listening to someone narrate the murder,
Sweet lullabies. Susan was decapitated by her husband. Good night, Caitlin.
Right. Yeah.
Have sweet dreams.
Which I found out why, though. It's because my mom would always watch either Murder, She Wrote or true crime stuff as I was going to sleep as a kid. And then now my niece, when she stays over here, and she's 3, okay?
Put on the murder shows.
Exactly. She's like, can we watch Jessica? I'm like, oh my God, this child cannot sleep now without people being murdered in the background. That's where it came from. But I watch a lot of that myself. And do you know much about the case of Des Nielsen?
I don't think I do.
He was a serial killer in England. I believe it was back during the 80s. And, well, he was caught during the 80s. And he had apparently been doing this for like 12 years. And he was an archivist for the police department.
Oh, damn. It's like it's like Dexter almost.
Yeah. Except this guy was like in charge of records and shit. So
he could like mess things up. Like you didn't find any evidence there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But mostly what he did it for was he was doing it to search for information for hunting. Pretty much. Like,
that's like a good story or like movie waiting to happen.
Yeah. I mean, they did do a biopic, sort of, with him. I think Sundance did it. And David Tennant actually played Dez, which was really scary because, I mean, he was spot on.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah, because the whole basis of the case was Dez would target guys that were homosexual or had been involved in stuff similar to that and had been charged with, well, or were going to be charged with crimes against, like, you know, sexual assault and stuff like that, but had never actually been brought to justice.
So he kind of should be high-fived.
Kind of,
because if he's going after like rapists and abusers, then I mean, can't we just kind of look the other way? Like,
right? Yeah,
it's wrong, but I mean, if they 100% they totally were caught in the middle of the act of assaulting someone, then I mean, proof is in the butt. Like,
right? Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's no way they could be like, I didn't do it. It's like, dude, we got video, we got pictures.
Right. Yeah.
Then take him out back and hit him with the shovel.
So he, you know, so what he did was he would go out and he would hunt these people, and he would bring them back to his place after having, you know, basically, I guess you could say, catfished them, and then he would kill them and chop them up and hide, you know, their parts until he could dispose of them properly. And the only reason they caught him was because there was a storm that happened, and the drain in front of his house got clogged and was and it was flooding the whole street. And so, you know, the little fire department and police department went out there and cleared out the thing and found an arm.
Damn that arm.
Yeah, and went up to his front door and was like, "Oh, hey, you know, hey, Des," you know, because he did work for the police department. So they were like, "Oh, hey, weird thing happened. There was an arm clogging the drain. That's why your street was all flooded and stuff." And he was like, "Oh yeah, it was mine."
He should have been like, "I don't understand how that got there."
Yeah. Which, I mean, but like he had the opportunity to laugh it off because the guy was like, "Oh, ha ha ha," you know, whatever. And he was like, "No, seriously, it's mine, and I have more. I'm running out of room."
Could you imagine? You're just like, I just pulled an arm out of the sewer. There's a storm. All I want to do is get home and eat something, and now I have this. You have more body parts to dispose of.
Like, dude, all I wanted to do was just be like, "Okay, bye. See you at work tomorrow, man. Whatever."
So what happened to him? Did they like charge him for a bunch of murders?
Yeah. Yeah, and found out that they could have caught him a whole 5 years earlier.
If he didn't work at like the police station?
Well, that was part of it. The other part of it was the fact that back during that time, in the English police situation, anything that had a whiff, and I mean even the smallest whiff of like homosexual interaction, like with that community at all, they would just leave it alone.
Oh.
they were like, okay, no, you know what? We're not going to bother with this. You guys can take care of it yourselves, because that's usually what happens. We usually just end up finding somebody dead later and just clean that up. So
they're literally like, we don't see anything.
Yeah.
We're gonna go have some tea and crumpets over there. You guys continue to you do you. It's okay. Bye-bye.
Right, exactly. So, like, so with Dez's situation, they like I said, about 5 years earlier, they could have gotten, they could have caught him because he went to this, I think it was like this bar in Soho, and he picked up this 23-year-old guy and his, like, a friend of his, because the guy was out with somebody, but this 23-year-old dude, had done something, and they didn't charge him because he was as young as he was.
Yeah.
Plus, the whole, like, it having a whiff of, homosexual whatever. So, double whammy. So Dez was like, okay, nah. So he went and he brought this guy back to his house. Well, both of them back to his house. And
2-for-1 special.
Right, exactly. And killed.
This is horrible. Oh.
I know. But he killed the 23-year-old guy. Okay. The other dude escaped.
Oh,
like,
that's how he was caught?
Like, he found a way to escape. No, this guy goes to the police. Okay. This is a whole 5 years before Dez actually was caught. Yeah. So this guy goes to the police and he's like, and brings them back to the house. Okay. And it's like, this man, he's the one that tried to kill me and he killed my friend. Blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. If you go in the house, you'll see whatever. Nah. And Dez basically was like, I don't know.
Oops.
What? Yeah.
He fell on my knife 34 times. It's not my fault.
Like I don't know what I don't know what this kid's on about, but we were out having a good time, having some drinks. We came back here and yeah, and I don't know what's going on, whatever.
At least he wasn't like he asked me to kill him and then his friend freaked out on me and ran away and didn't let me kill him too. Yeah. Like, officers, this is totally their fault. And the next thing you know, the friend's being charged for murder.
Right. Oh my God. But yeah, like they went in there and they didn't find him. So they were like, plus, the fact that they had come from the bar that they had come from and the type of people that usually frequent it and all of that stuff. They were like, well, we knew Dez was a little weird, but okay, like, this is like, we're just not going to worry about this. So for a whole other 5 years, he was able to, just run around unchecked and kill people.
And go to work and just be like, hey, guys, share a donut with each other.
Right, yeah. It's like, hey.
Now, here's what I want to know. Uh-huh. Was he gay himself, or was he just targeting that community?
He was just targeting them, as far as I know. But, I mean, he did have a woman that was his best friend, but they did not have a physically romantic relationship.
I wonder if she helped
him. She had no fucking clue.
Oh, so she was just...
Yeah, like... And I mean, how in the world? Let's see. Here's a good.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh, yeah, because he says. Let's see. Most serial killers allude to evil personas or identities, which drive their compulsions to murder. Dexter Stark, Passenger, BTKs, X Factor, etc. Many of them claim to have full-blown alternate personalities. This may seem like an excuse, a way to shed responsibility for such crimes. However, these accounts are consistent across hundreds of cases, all dissociative identity disorder. Yes.
Yeah. Because I just remember, like, I watched a couple interviews with Ted Bundy before his execution,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying basically the reason why he killed was because porn. And I'm like, no, don't blame the porn. Blame the fact that not only did you kill and murder these people, you went back days later to assault their bodies, their dead, decomposing bodies all over again. That's a special kind of fucked up.
Right, exactly. And I mean, even like the whole first part of his, talking about his stuff and why he did what he did was talking about how he felt like he had been possessed almost. Like it was, he would black out for days at a time.
That's not,
supposedly. And he said it was like sitting inside of himself, watching someone else do all of this. Yeah.
See, and this is why, like, it's hard because on one hand, you want to say these people are terrible fucking people, just execute them. Why are we taking care of them? But then on the flip side, it's like they would make great character studies.
Yeah.
Like psychological, like do some research, tap into the mind of these people. But then again, if they're in jail for the rest of their life, you don't know if what they're saying is true.
Right.
Or a lie. Or if they'd even work with you or willingly. Yeah. And then this is when I say, this is what you do. You tell them, you're like, we're going to keep you alive. Mm-hmm. But if you don't play our game, we're going to reenact the Hunger Games, but with all serial killers. So you guys can just kill each other, and the one that survives will get to be released. And then just that would make a good show or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
Release him back into the wild and then just track his every move.
But it would be like the literal wild.
Like a safari. He gets mauled by a giraffe. I know what you did!
Mauled by a giraffe.
It's like neck whipped.
I think hardcore porn certainly affected Ted Bundy to an extreme extent. Yeah, I mean, but that's really kind of an excuse, though.
It's like if he was watching hardcore torture porn, I can see where he would associate his ability to get off on seeing other people in pain. Mm-hmm. I could, unless he was just watching straight up snuff films where someone is actively being murdered on camera.
Right, yeah.
I don't see how just watching extreme hardcore porn could link to, I want to go and murder a bunch of women, decapitate them, and then go back 3 or 4 days later and assault their dead bodies. That's
right.
That's and the fact weird.
And the fact that he was able to carry on a relatively healthy, platonic friendship relationship with a woman in the real estate office that he worked in for, a short amount of time. And in fact, she actually went on to become a true crime writer.
That was that Anne Rule girl, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I thought they worked together at a rape crisis center or something like that.
Mm-mm. No.
It was
real estate, yeah.
Because I know he had a girlfriend. And because I remember reading somewhere how he liked her, he would tie her up, and he liked her to act like she was dead, try not to breathe or move. And I'm like, well, that right there, that's just kind of red flag.
Yeah. Oh, be like, no. Yeah. Millions of people watch porn and don't become killers.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So I think, honestly, that's just that is an excuse. I mean, it can, however, it can be a symptom, like, say, you're an investigator and the type of things that this person watches.
Yeah.
You
Especially
know,
if he mimics what he watches, like if someone's being slashed up,
hmm
okay, there can be a correlation, but not
right.
straight up. He turned on Pornhub one time and slaughtered 75 women in the in the course of 2 years. Porn is bad. He just couldn't handle it.
You'd be like, and he didn't even actually like watch anything.
He got a commercial and decided to murder. He saw one bare titty, and that was it for him. And that's why he got the name the Nippler. Because he always cuts the nipples off.
Let's see. Most people don't watch porn and commit murder. However, porn has deleterious effects on the brain. The data on this is very clear. Well, yeah, that's because it's causing you to pump all of those chemicals into your brain without having actually anywhere for them to go. That's why you need to make sure that you are as in casual porn watching or obsessive porn watching. Well, so does that are you concerned for the health of your brain, Nat? It's okay. No one is judging.
Once in a blue moon and only slaughter 20 girls, or do you watch it every day and slaughter 75? I mean, the opportunities are endless here.
Yes, exactly. Like I said, Bundy was extremely manipulative and pretty much couldn't be trusted whatsoever. He wasn't wrong about the effects of porn, though. He probably wasn't lying if he was.
Even if he wasn't.
Looking for scapegoat. That people who get addicted to porn usually have other addictions. Well, yeah, mostly. Because it's usually just a symptom of a bigger problem. If it's an addiction. Not saying that it's necessarily wrong. We're not judging anyone. It's okay. Not just everyone who drinks is an alcoholic.
People.
Right,
watch all the stuff you want.
Exactly.
But the moment you start killing someone and you go visit their body after a few days of being dead, that's when I'm going to be like, I think you have a problem.
I think there's an issue here. Yeah, but yes, not you are right. Not everyone who drinks is an alcoholic. So I'm taking that as a yes to our question.
Now, what if you add drinking and porn together? And then killing?
Oh.
Like what if you're an average dude and you're just watching that really freaky stuff, but you're drinking, and since you're drinking, that lowers your, like, what am I trying to say? Like, it makes it so you can't, yes, you know what's wrong and right, but maybe like you're a little less like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. Right. And then you turn into Ted Bundy.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess it's because of the desensitization. You know?
Yeah.
Nat says, no, I write about my crazy fantasies. I don't do them. Extremely addictive, however, is not benign. Maybe.
Oh God, she just did the trifecta.
And yeah,
She
I'm a
smokes
female.
pot, watches porn, and she drinks.
And
Dude,
she drinks.
you're gonna be able to kill all the women.
Yeah, exactly. and the fact that you're a female,
They won't ever see it coming.
Exactly. They will not ever see it coming. And the like amount of true crime movies and biopics that they're going to make.
I'm telling you, claim the name the Nippler.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
she's like, nah. Oh, that's right. You do smoke pot, honey. I'm sorry.
Too lazy to go back anyone up.
Violent horror movies.
She'll just be going after people. I just want to smoke with you.
I just oh
like,
no.
I'm too good for that.
Oh my god. Oh, so no, actually, so she's got so she doesn't kill people. She just has a basement full of people that are now suddenly potheads because she started her own cult on accident.
Not even a cult. She just made a giant hot box where she's constantly like pumping in pot smoke so they keep getting high, so they don't even know they're there at this point. They're just all sitting in a daze like, what is this?
Like, what is life?
And there's just Cheeto bags everywhere. Oh my god, it's like feeding the fish popcorn, but like she rips open the Cheeto bag and throws it, and then just like
like, why are you you'd be like, go to Costco and buy out all of the cheese balls and the Cheetos. Like, why?
Feeding time. And to sedate them, she just literally like pumps more smoke into the room, and they just calm down.
They'll go to sleep. Oh my god. Yes. So suddenly people in Vegas start going missing. And then they're at Nat's house in her pot basement. But it's okay. Your families don't have to worry about you. She's regularly feeding them Cheetos.
They want a healthy dose of junk food and pot. They're good.
Yes.
Lots of water.
Yes, lots and lots of water.
They just have like a human-sized like hamster water bottle where they have to lick it. But instead of a ball, it's like a THC like sucker. So it just oh man.
They want to be here. I swear. Oh my god. Someone's gonna have to write this story now.
Nat should write it.
Yes. Do it, Nat.
A comedy whore. Like her only downfall is she gets a newbie.
Yeah.
Like a perfect like LDS churchgoer, like straight from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
And Nat tries to stir him to pot. And then he like, or she has like a, I don't know, bad experience. And instead of just being chill, it's like they see the power of Christ and like go on a killing spree. Yeah. And now Nat's all like, I've created a monster.
I've created a monster. Stoner comedy horror. Yes. Do it, Nat. Do it.
And like the cover can be like an open thing of Cheetos and like a tipped over bong with blood spilling out of it instead of water. The smokers.
This needs to happen. Oh my gosh. Yes. So do it. Do it, Nat. Oh. Ooh, maybe we can get you to do pieces of it for the challenge. Oh.
That will be the 13th ghost. The head. The stone bird, it's literally just like a daze, like his eyelids are half closed. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. I missed the book where Jesus went on a murder spree. Well, see, the thing is,
cut.
Right, yeah. See, because he didn't meet Nat. That's what happened. He didn't meet Nat and go into her pot basement.
Or what if everyone's just so high, she introduces a new dude that looks like Jesus, and everyone just thinks he's Jesus?
Oh my god.
And really, he's just like a skater kid. He's like, I just came here to get high and save your souls.
Right. Oh my god. And then just randomly out of nowhere, somehow he and the LDS person end up like becoming like best friends ever. And that's why the killing spree happens.
It turns into natural born killers. 2 feuding religions. We have Mormonism and the Jesus. Or the other Jesus. Or whatever Jesus. The stoner dude. It's good versus stoned.
Yes, because this is how serious professionals.
But I would 100% read that book or watch that movie. Yes. Oh my god, and what's his name? Macaulay Culkin's brother would play Jesus.
Oh my god, yes! Oh my god!
And like Dakota Fanning would have to play the Mormon girl.
Mm-hmm.
And like when she turns evil, all of a sudden she's like, yeah, her skirt rises like 3 inches above her knees. All of a sudden she misses a button on her top, so you get some like cleavage. Her eyeliner gets really thick.
Like her skirt being like only 3 inches above her knee.
And like literally the moment she gets a hit, it just automatically raises. Wait, you realize this is very similar to the Manson family, don't you? You'll need something stronger than weed, though. Manson used LSD. We'll just use all the drugs.
Yes, all of them.
Like, it's like a vending machine. What would you like today?
Right, exactly. It'd be like, or psychedelic mushroom chocolates.
But I think pot would just be funnier because hopefully it just chills people out and not like, I can lick the walls and taste the rainbow.
Well, I mean, and that would make it even funnier if it was just pot, because that person freaking out, losing their mind, and doing all of that shit, you would know it was because of them as a person. It had nothing to do with the marijuana at all. Like, they were just looking for an excuse to lose their shit and go kill a bunch of people. That was all.
It turns into like the hunt for Warren Jeff's community. The FLDS. We're gonna save you from your prairie dresses and your top buns. And we're just canceled.
Right, yeah. Oh no. No. Oh yes. Oh yes, we'll save you from your bad fashion and your bad hair and your
creepy men who want to marry 13-year-old girl. Yeah. That just turned into like
that almost makes me oh, I know. That almost makes me think of the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I love that show.
Yes.
Man, but then like the last season, like I watched like the first episode, but then I stopped because it was like different. Like it wasn't the same. And then they canceled it, and I'm like, damn it, because I really liked her roommate, the black guy who was like,
Yes,
what was his name?
Titus.
Yes,
Titus. Yes, I am keeping this rope.
like I want to see him in other stuff. I think he's just an amazing comedy actor.
Yeah, yeah,
And same with her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Seems we do not have any new comments. It's
So
like
Nat's gonna write it.
yes, Nat is going to write it. So Nat, we are going to wait on that. So next stream on Katie's channel, you have to give us an update.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
The Great High.
Yeah.
And then the biggest twist at the end is literally she just comes out of a high and none of it actually really happened. She's the only one laying in her basement with like dozens of Cheeto bags.
It was all a dream.
And then it was canceled. Okay, should we?
All right, we should probably. Yes. I'm going to do a writing sprint.
Okay.
All right.
For how long do you want to do it?
I don't know. Like
30 minutes, 20 minutes?
We can do 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Okay.
20 minutes.
Put on a timer.
All right. Yes.
Timer.
It was all a bad weed trip. Too many edibles and Red Bulls. Yes, Nat. Those are not a good combination.
Okay, so we're going to do our first writing sprint for 20 minutes starting now.
All right. We will be back.
Okay.
Ta-da. Hello, everyone. We are back.
Yes. What did you get done?
I got. Someone just killed their mom.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is it the main character that killed her mom?
Yes.
Ooh. Did she make her go clean her room when she didn't want to?
Yeah. Well, no.
You're not my real mom.
Oh no, that's
almost
like almost like what Pay says. You're not my real dad.
Oh.
Oh.
Mike said he got 394. My brain was literally almost going to say 349. Damn.
That's okay. That's almost like one time I was playing trivia, and it was when I was a kid, and they were like, when did Christopher Columbus land on the North American continent? And for some reason my brain did a switcheroo, and I said 1942 instead of 1492. And I said it with so much confidence, so I was like 1942. And then I was like, fuck. And then I was like, wait, I can't say that.
So Nat said too many edibles and Red Bulls. She got 2 pages. Here's her opening. Oh, wait, I've been doing writing sprints all day. I have to tap out. Oh. It was the first time
infirmitas, Mike. Offensus infirmitas.
What?
We are disgusted by our weakness.
Oh. It was the first time Eddie had tried cannabis edibles, and he was unsure what to expect as he popped a few of the fruit-shaped gummies into his mouth. Not bad. Eddie nodded. See, I still need to go get some of those.
Yes.
Because do you do them or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I have to be careful around here because they're not legal where I am.
So you don't do them.
So yeah, I allegedly,
Well, one of these days, you, me, and Zach will have to do a live. And
yes.
We can just have an edible party.
Yes, we should.
Careful, bro. If you're not used to edibles, you can accidentally eat too many. And Mario Grimst, in his words, trailed off as he watched Eddie's fingers dive back into the container. Okay, so since I am a newbie with all of that, can you really actually have a bad experience? Because I thought it just relaxes you and it makes you laugh.
Well, it depends on
The person.
The person, really, because it affects everybody differently. Me, it just makes me really, really chill. Like if I'm having trouble sleeping, it's amazing.
See,
but
I think that's why I need to discover that, because I have like the worst insomnia. Like I don't go to sleep until like 3 or 4 in the morning every day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because me with my situation, I was being slowly poisoned, and yeah, so that's how come I ended up being bald and almost 300 pounds and covered in skin ulcers and shit, and
I did not know this,
and sort of kind of died, and anyway, so
when did this happen?
Let's see, this was about 2019 is when I had a whole year of recovery. I've been in recovery for like the last 2.5 years.
Who was poisoning you?
Someone who I thought was my friend and turned out not to be. So
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I ended up with like serious insomnia because of the things that they were giving me, and I had to actually work myself back into actually not being afraid to go to sleep, by like just doing like 90-minute cycles at a time. So I would sleep for like 90 minutes, and then I would be up for like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And so one of the things that is good for dealing with that kind of insomnia is THC, for sure. I would definitely say. Now, however, when I smoke it though, it makes me energized.
Oh, see, I've had shrooms, so I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had LSD. But
yeah. It's infinitely stronger than smoking, even the most potent. Yep. Yeah.
Well, then I will find out, because one of these days I will go to one of the dispensaries and be like,
yes,
I am here to acquire the edibles. Tell me what I need to do.
Yes. Yeah, because I will definitely say it is got more to the story, but that's the opening teaser. Nice.
Oh, so Mike said they suck. That they're foul. Or utterly foul. People can have panic attacks. Oh, that would be bad.
Yeah, if you have too many, so pace yourself. But I've not really ever had a bad experience with edibles. Like I said, it made me go sleep. Like after a while, I was like, whoa, I'm really, really relaxed and chill, and like I really get outside of my head.
Yeah.
Because I'm somewhat of a reserved person, but like it's just like, okay, woo, I have no inhibitions, and now I am sleepy. Now when I smoke it though, however, that's a little bit different because it makes me a little more energized. So
see, I haven't smoked since like 2007, 8. It's been like forever because I don't like smoking. It's gross. But that's why when I heard about edibles, I was like, I like to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
exactly.
I don't have to smoke. But when I did, it was like I couldn't stop laughing. Like everything was funny.
Yes.
And it was just so much fun. But I can't stand smoking it because I just remember like I felt like my lungs were like on fire and I couldn't breathe, but then I was laughing at the same time. And I was like I was so high. I just remember like I was like laying back in my friend's recliner. Yeah. And it just felt like I was like floating in a pool like this. Oh, so fucking cool. And I just remember laughing.
Yeah, that's like when we got my brother Jordan to do it for the first time, and he like that was the only thing he was doing. He was laughing so hard he was crying, and he didn't know why. And
it's like the stupidest shit. Like I remember, like my like my friend Stefan, he was like, I'm so hungry. Where are the crackers? And he couldn't find the crackers in my friend's house. And I just remember that was so funny. And then he like appeared with like a bag of bagels. He's like, I found something. And then my friend Nikki, during the time, she had her jaw wired shut because she had jaw surgery. And she got so hungry that she literally pulled out her blender and threw a hot dog in the blender and tried to eat that. I was like, don't do it. We're not high enough for that.
Oh my God.
And she did it.
Oh my God.
It was so gross.
Yes. It's like, what are you?
Oh, because like when you have your jaw wired shut, you're on a liquid diet for like what I think it was like 3 months, 4 months. So like she was going crazy.
Oh. Let's see.
Oh, we missed a lot of comments.
Yeah, I accidentally ate 1,000 milligrams of THC once, 10 times and I passed out. I was like, yeah, I should have probably slept it off, honey.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Or at least regulations on potency dosing.
Well, I looked up in the one that I'm gonna probably go to that's by my house.
Mm-hmm.
They either have it in 50 mg milligrams and 100, but like when you guys were talking about baggies full of them, these things are just like little squares and they're sold individually.
Yeah.
There isn't like multiple in them. It's just like one. So I'm like, wait, they sell baggies of them?
Apparently. Let's see.
And I wonder if people's bodies react differently to them if they don't have a gallbladder, because since I got my gallbladder removed a few years ago, like I drank for the first time in a few years and it didn't hit me the same way as it normally.
Like, did you have a higher tolerance?
Yeah, like I drank and I felt like fine for like I felt kind of like drunk for like 20 minutes and then all of a sudden I felt like nothing. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm sober.
Oh, wow.
But then another time I was completely blackout. Like it was on one of our, I can't even remember which stream it was, but I drank and I was just like, I don't remember anything.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, because I've always had a really, really high tolerance for liquor of any kind. And if anybody wants to actually go see that, they can watch the episode of We Are a Genius, where Zach and I played a drinking game to the ASDF movie reaction that we were doing.
Movie? What's AFDF?
ASDF. It was it's a cartoon.
Oh.
And so I introduced him to that, but we decided to have a drinking game while we were watching it. And like every time that there was a turtle, and every time that there was food, and every time that there was music. So we would drink, and yeah, if you want to see just how liquor tolerant I am, that's a good one to watch. Also, if you want to see what it looks like when he downs about 100 milligrams of THC. Yeah.
I will have to go back and watch that.
Yes.
300 mg and heard voices. I experienced something I can only describe as dream vision. I was taken on a guided tour through my past, including every mistake and trauma and molested. Damn! I need to acquire all of that.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like such a trip.
Yeah, you could do some serious past life meditation.
I just went back to the basement. And you just wake up with Cheeto bags
everywhere.
And just like you're just being pumped, like the whole basement's just pumped full of smoke. And you're just like, I experienced the meaning of life. I know all the answers to everything.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Until I passed out. When I woke up the next day, I was still high. Yes! I can't imagine. Also, I had some of the best weed highs of my life on edibles, so who knows? It's, yeah.
See, that's, yeah, positive. Everything is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So just make sure that you're happy-go-lucky when you go into doing something like that, and not,
Depressed.
Yes, not like super, angsty emo or like, or everyone's out to get me, because then everyone and everything will be out to get you.
See, and that takes me back to when I smoked with all my friends, because my other friend, she got so fucking paranoid. Like, someone knocked on the door and she was like, "Don't answer it. It's the cops. They're gonna..." And I'm just like laying in my chair like, dude, can't even fucking move right now. Like, everything's okay. We're okay.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah, and it was on 4th of July when we did that. So, like, all the fucking fireworks were going off outside. You're just, like, getting baked.
No. And she was paranoid and there were fireworks?
Like, I only remember, like, bits and pieces. There was something mentioned about, like... She mentioned something about Tylenol PM being upstairs, and then she just, like, straight face turned to me and said, "You need to go punch it in the face." I'm like, what are you talking about? That, like, yeah, that's... And then I burned a hole in her couch on accident. What? Did you just drop your mic?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
It decided to dive off the table.
Like, a little piece of, like, whatever, where you put it in a little thing, it fell out. And you know how, like, the cushions on couches, it's like a little cushion and then, like, the main cushion, it fell under there, so it looked like someone put a cigarette and just, like, burned a straight circle in the couch.
Oh no.
But it was, like, under the fluffy cushion, so you couldn't see it. But I was like, well, R.I.P. that couch.
Right. Oh, poor couch. What did it ever do to you? Oh my god. Alrighty, so do you want to read what you did?
I did one sentence and then I abandoned that project and I started working on something else.
Okay.
So you
what
could
else
read
did you
yours.
start working on?
So I found my script for By Winter's End. It's this other story I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I'm writing the outline like a screenplay. I'm gonna see if that version of outlining can work. Yeah. So it took me forever to find it through my like hard drive, and then I just started reading over it. But I got one sentence in before I was just like, I don't want to work on this anymore.
So you're outlining it like someone would write a screenplay?
Yeah.
So
because like I've read that actually can help you like have a tighter story, and you can spot the like plot holes and the issues faster and easier, or at least I'm hoping.
Yeah, it can, because it's what I like to call an expanded or comprehensive float chart.
I'm getting that static again. Hold on.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said it's like an expanded flowchart?
Yeah, it's like an expanded float chart, because most of the time what people call float charts are just for dialogue. So you have a whole bunch of floating heads essentially of okay, I've mapped out this scene by dialogue, so this is all of the shit that they're going to say, and you don't really have
like the meat to the story.
Right. Yeah, so like you don't really have like any of the scenery or anything, but it's just the dialogue, which is a float chart. But then I was like, wouldn't it be so much better if you were to do an expanded version of that, where, you haven't painted the prose on, but it's, you have your scenery and all that other stuff with basic actions. So, I mean, I have personally found that to be easier.
Yeah.
Doing it that way for some stories.
Okay, I think it finally stopped.
Oh man. Oh
Man,
man.
it's still doing it.
Oh. Oh, the technical difficulties.
Let us know in the comments if you guys can hear like a weird staticky thing.
Yeah, because I can't hear it on my side. So, do you guys hear anything strange? Aside from us talking. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different ways to outline. I'm trying to outlining is my favorite process of the entire writing process.
Yeah.
And I actually find it fun to try out different ways and different methods to see which one actually works best for me and my way of storytelling. And so far, my personal way of outlining is so different from everything that I've seen or tried. Like, I was going to actually do a video on this, like explaining it, but like I first do the initial thought dump where I'm like, okay, this is the gist of the story. And then I imagine different scenes playing out in the entire story. And then I just jot down randomly the different scenes. And then I try to put those in order. So there's some like nice flow to them and everything's in chronological order. And then I expand on that idea. Then I chunk them together in chapters, like, okay, this would be chapter whatever, like the different little scenes. And then I go in through each chapter and expand on that for like each of the scenes. And then I basically have a skeleton of a story by that point.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes. Yes, it does.
And that's my personal way of outlining. What about you?
Yeah, because I came up with a formula that it's basically like, a full-fleshed skeleton idea. So I put all of the entire story when I get started. It's no less than 3 pages, the entire story, as much as I can fit into no less than 3 pages.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to see if I could change this. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, now say something.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, it might be my headphones that are going. Because I don't hear it now. Damn it. I'm going to have... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, wait. Maybe just unplug your microphone real quick. It's on Kate's end.
Okay.
It seems to be better now. Hold on.
All right. Let me see.
Okay, say something.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah, now it's not doing it.
Okay.
I wonder if, like, when you knocked over your mic, if it
may.
something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, they say it's better now. Okay. Cool. All right. But what I usually do, like, I put in no less than 4 pages. No less than 3 or 4 pages. I put out the entire story, like beginning to end. Plot holes, no plot holes, it doesn't matter as long as you just get the entire thing out of your head and onto paper. And then I take that and I boil it down until I can fit it into as much as I can fit in a page, and then boil it down again without leaving anything out to have a whole paragraph. And I use that as my basic synopsis, because a lot of the time people will say, okay, this is the dreaded
It's like the
worse.
hardest part.
Right, yeah. So I'm like, okay, do it first. Because when I was helping people pitch themselves to publishers or agents, a lot of the time the thing that they would have to have first would be their working title or permanent title, their pitch line, and their basic synopsis. So, you know, it would only make sense for them to have all of those things first. So that's what I would do. I would take their entire concept and put it into no less than 3 pages, and then, you know, beginning to end, whole story, and then boil that down, and without leaving anything out, as much as you can fit in a paragraph. And then what you do is you take that paragraph, okay, and sum it all up,
To like a
boil
sentence.
it down until it's as much as you can fit in 1 or 2 sentences. There's your pitch line. Ta-da!
See, that's
You know.
what, like with the stuff on my Wattpad,
Mhm.
that's what I've started doing is I'm like, okay, this is like the 1 sentence synopsis, then the actual synopsis, and then I try to come up with taglines, and then all my titles are pretty much concrete, but some of them I'm like, oh, I can change that, or like the working title.
Yeah.
Because like for my book, In the Pines, I originally had that story titled A Second Chance, because that's what the when Annabelle dies and she goes down into the underworld and she enters into the highest rated game show of the underworld, it's called A Second Chance, and the goal was you're competing against, I can't remember how many other people, to win a second chance at life. Like if you win the game, you get sent back, but it's not back into your original body, it's you're like reborn.
Yeah.
So then I was like, that would be cool, but then I'm like A Second Chance, that sounds like a romance novel. And then I thought of In the Pines.
Yeah.
Because that's where like everything really occurs for her.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes the doorways to alternate dimensions happen between 2 pines, or so it has been purported.
Here, wait. Oh, so Mike said he has to leave.
Aww. Okay. Party
Have a great night.
I'm just kidding. Have a good night, Mike. Oh, goodness. Yeah, like I said, party pooper. Oh.
Hey, Nat.
Hey,
Thanks
Nat.
for being still here.
Yeah. Yes, all those edibles and Red Bulls. Just kidding.
Are kicking in.
Oh. Yeah, because well, I think the thing about helping, things that help to give you a good like working title that leads into a title that may be more permanent. I think one of the things that is really helpful with doing that, because you can take what I was talking about, like the you know, how you boil it down to your pitch line and everything. Yeah. It's very, very similar to what they do with rocket science, when they, you know, they get all the data together and then, you know, boil it down even further and even further. And then they look at what all of it summed up was, all of it that they can condense into something even smaller. And they look at all of the information and see, okay, what synchronicitous number, name, or word can be defined by this small 1 or 2 sentences of information. Because in space, the amount of time that they have in order to, you know, trigger that thought in their brain and solve any kind of problem that happens to arise, they only have time for something that they can say in the time it takes to draw a single breath. So, or else, you know, everything will explode and then the mission has failed and everyone will die. So,
yeah,
you know,
like It's raining astronauts.
Raining astronauts
In the cornfields.
But yeah, I mean, so that makes it a whole lot easier if you can, because I'm all about finding things that you can do that are multi-purpose, because, I mean, smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Everybody's out here like, you can, let's climb this mountain. And I'm like, wait a second, you're supposed to be like, storytellers and imaginative and, inspiring faith in people. So what happened to figuring out its language and telling it to move?
Yeah.
You're like, no, we want to, show everyone how tired we can get by climbing the damn thing. It's like, but it's so much cooler if you can just tell it to move, and it does.
See, I think that's like, when it comes to like the pitch lines,
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of writer groups that I'm in, they always say that is literally going to make or break your story.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also heard that the log line is literally like the same way people pitch movies. Like how Star Wars was literally pitched as high noon in outer space. Like that's like the shorter you can get it, the better.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they, your elevator pitch.
Yeah, that's
anything that can be said in 35 seconds or less. So, if you can punch them in the face with, as few words as possible.
How would you describe the other story, though? Like Jesus versus the potheads? Or the LDS versus LSD?
Yes! Yes!
Oh my god, they'd have to wear their like suits with black ties and ride their bicycles. And their helmets.
Oh my god. Oh. Astronauts. Oh, thank you, Nat. Not sure where this story. Hold on. Not sure where this story will go yet, but I have some ideas.
There has to be Mormons.
Yes.
And potheads.
And it's okay if you want to do a self-character insert, okay? As like the main person that founds this pot basement where everyone...
I just still picture like literally like, in Silent Hill where like the creepy nurses, they're like still until like you move and then they start moving and they're sensing your movements. Yes. I'm literally picturing a bunch of potheads crammed into this basement and they're so still and they're so high and baked that they're like, they don't even know what's going on, but the moment the door opens and there's movement, they like all move as one. And then when you throw the Cheetos out there, like out into the crowd, like bag after bag, they just like swarm over each other like fish.
Oh my god.
But in my head, like it's funny, but then it's like creepy too, because it's like they've lost all sense of humanity.
Synchronized.
Yeah, and they just turn into like animals. They're just like food. Mormons and potheads. Oh my god, you can be the person who is like supplying all the pot to the main pot person.
Yes, and the Cheetos.
Now don't let them eat too much. And then they accidentally raid the gummies and they've ate all of them. Yes. Like a year's worth in one day.
Oh my god, it would turn into like a like the Gremlins situation where it's like don't give him water after,
Don't eat after midnight.
Yes.
would be hilarious.
Oh my god. Oh. All right. Let's see here. Oh. So.
Did you want to do another 20-minute sprint?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
And see what else we can come up with.
Let me pull up my timer.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. And we are back.
Y'all back.
Oh. That static shit's happening again.
Ah! Okay. Hold on. See if I can... Okay. Is it still?
It's good. I don't
Okay.
hear anything.
Okay. Yeah. So I think for some reason, like when I re-engage my mic,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to undo it and then turn it back. When I
Oh.
come back, I don't know why. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a new mic, most likely, because this one's a cheap piece of shit. Yeah.
If you get a new one, you should get the Blue Yeti. That's what I use. It's pricey, but it's so good.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I don't know, but it is like up there. I think it's like $90 or $100.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
So what did everyone get done?
I don't know. I got to... Yeah, hello, Nat.
Did you write some more of the story?
Yeah, did you write some more about the Mormons and the potheads? She would like.
What if
Uh-huh.
when the Mormon goes downstairs, she has a meeting with them, and then the next thing you know, they're all Mormon potheads. Like she converts them all, and the next thing you know, they're all wearing prairie dresses and like Amish clothes. I just insulted a whole shit ton of people.
Hey.
And you guys, I do know there's a huge difference between LDS and the LDFS or whatever. The Warren Jeff creepers and the normal Mormons. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, of course there is. Sure.
One's a pedophile, and the other people are just they don't drink caffeine or do anything.
Yeah. One's a pedophile, and the others are all closet pedophiles.
I once knew a girl in high school. She came from a huge family of like 17 kids, and she was Mormon, and she wasn't allowed to talk about her family like at all. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I bet there's polygamy involved in this shit. But she told me, she was like, she wasn't allowed to take aspirin because of religious reasons. She wasn't allowed to drink caffeine for religious reasons. Mm-hmm. And we lived in Vegas, so it's like fucking hot. She would have to wear at least like this kind of like your sleeves would have to either go down to your elbows or 3/4. And you were always supposed to be covered up because it's a modest thing, which I understand. Yeah. But like I never knew the whole you can't have caffeine because of religious reasons and you can't have Tylenol.
Well, it wasn't just simply the caffeine itself. You were not allowed to have coffee or tea because apparently the tannins in either will blacken your insides and make you evil.
Tea drinkers are chill though. Like
I know. But apparently their insides are black and they're evil. Also, they cannot shower. Like, they can't get wet on Sundays. Why?
You would think, because isn't church on Sundays? Like, you would think you'd want to be clean on a church day. They just want you dirty.
They just want you dirty. They just want you dirty and uncaffeinated, which...
And grumpy.
No, exactly. No thanks, guys. No thanks. Got another 2 pages done. Okay.
Nice. Were there any astronauts or astronauts? Astronauts.
Astronauts.
No, I'm just picturing. We don't do them astronauts around here.
No. Exactly. They're clean and they're caffeinated and they wear regular people underwear. We cannot have those people.
Oh, yeah, and they're magical underwears.
Yes.
Like, Jesus Christ. Magic underwears. We'll protect them from everything.
Yeah, or the fact that in the Book of Mormon, that was supposedly given to Joseph Smith by this angel called Moroni. Did you know that that's literally an anagram for I'm a moron?
We're just like insulting a giant group of people at this point. They're gonna send all the Mormons our way. Like, we need to save your sinner soul because, bitch, you going to hell.
I mean, hey, no, let's just put this way. I've already had them all in my inbox on Facebook because apparently they like to troll writers groups on Facebook. And apparently, because my shtick is the fact that I can write so many manuscripts, they didn't think that humans were capable of, writing something that could stand up to scrutiny in,
old days. You're a witch.
Well, because they were like he wrote this thing in. Yes, they do wear magical underwear.
Yep, my friend dated one, and she's like, oh, she never dated a Mormon boy before. She corrupted his little innocent soul, and she told me all about the magical underwear.
Yeah. Oh my god! But yeah, I've had them in my inbox, kind of like the equivalent of, getting Aunt Jemima's witnesses, like super early in the morning on weekends.
Wait, Aunt Jemima's witnesses?
Yeah, they come.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The
Jehovah people?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like some syrup with your pancakes? Would you like to talk about our Lord and Savior, syrup?
Oh, I'm getting fucking canceled. Anyway. But I was just saying, though. Like, it's like, yeah. Oh.
Ooh, the Mormon can be an alien. And,
yes.
like, maybe they, like, when they came to watch how humans interact with each other, they fell into, like, Amish Mormon territory. So that's why they came looking like an Amish Mormon.
Yes. Oh, my God. And what was really funny, up here, she said, some aliens.
Oh man.
Oh, is that why they were astronauts?
Astronauts.
They were astronauts because they were aliens first.
I'm just like picturing just like back hills of Alabama.
Oh,
like
gosh.
They make their own moonshine.
Mm-hmm. And marry their cousins. And twirl toilet paper at football games because they don't know how to use it otherwise.
And they're just like, it's them astronauts! They're aliens! The Mormons come to visit them and it's like all out war. We knew you were coming for us. We've been ready, you astronauts.
You and your non-caffeinated filthy selves. Oh.
I thought you were going to say you and your non-Catholic self. And now all of a sudden they're just like Catholic hillbillies and now we're just going to lump everyone in.
Yes, we could just lump everyone in. Everyone's welcome here. Yeah, just not in the way that you think that you are. It's simply because we are going to make fun of you. That's what this. Maybe they were in aviation and they were just military aircraft. We're just going to put A at the beginning of everything now.
They went. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
And it was all just a dream within a dream. It turns into like, it's like Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes.
And he's the one dreaming all of this.
Oh my god. But he wakes up in a basement with a whole bunch of Cheetos.
What is this? Raven, what have you brought me? Why do I feel so happy? This joyfulness, it's atrocious.
What have you done?
You smite me with feelings. Devil worshippers.
Oh no! You have awakened all three of my feelings.
Apathy, melancholy, depression, unite!
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, did you see the live action Alice in Wonderland with the Queen of Hearts where she had a tiny body and a giant head? I'm just picturing that as Poe. He flies on his trusty raven.
Now, is he that way because he ate all of the edibles, or does everyone else see him that way too?
I don't know. That's for the aliens.
Oh,
he is an alien. He just ended up watching like an Edgar Allan Poe documentary, and now he's like forever sad.
Yes, he is an alien because he was an astronaut and he got lost from his aircraft. It is a mystery, yes.
And then it just turns into Mars attacks.
Right.
No one is safe. Everyone is high.
and the Academy still has not forgiven Tim Burton.
For what? What did he
Mars
do?
Attacks. Wasn't he involved in that? Yeah.
He was involved in that movie? See,
yeah.
I liked that movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was funny, and it was, but I mean, yeah, it was just...
It was just
yeah,
so
they still haven't forgiven him for that.
We're just going to give you Johnny Depp.
Right.
You have to figure it out for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Here you go, man. Oh my god. Here we go. My next sci-fi. The planet will have A in the name. Is that
Aaron?
Aaron.
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 Have you seen that commercial?
Yes. Oh, the Key and Peele skit
where like he doesn't say names. He's like Aaron.
Yes. He's like, Aaron. Yes, we call my brother that now because his name is Aaron, but it's spelled Aaron. So now we call him Aaron.
Oh man.
Oh. Ayer Gorthic. Ayer Gorth.
Oh Jesus, that's why I don't read sci-fi. Aaron.
Aaron. It's the name of your planet.
Just the planet I. Or A.
A or I. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of pirates. I. No, that would be R. R.
Pirates.
Yes, pirates.
And aliens.
And aliens.
The next sci-fi adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then it just turns out to be Mormons and potheads.
And they're just throwing Cheetos at each other.
Yes.
Okay. Their guns literally shoot like cheese balls.
Yes.
Their cannonballs are full bags of Cheetos, so when on impact, they just explode into Cheeto dust.
Oh my god.
Planet weed.
Planet weed.
And there isn't 1 ounce of that kind of weed. It's just a fucking giant weed.
Oh my god. Oh. Yes. Yes, this needs to be a thing. This needs to be a thing. I may turn this into a comic strip.
That would be hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, because Zach and I are doing a comic strip. For
So
if you're feeling adventurous.
Your thumbnails have your guys' art on them.
Yeah.
I'll have to. Is it involved in your live streams yet, or are you doing it?
It's not really involved in any of that yet, but I have actually just gotten all of the slides done, and I'm putting them together. So I'm going to make a video with all of the slides as kind of an introduction. And right now we're looking for an animator because we want it to be a cartoon, because I think that would be really cool.
So that would be funny.
Yes.
Plus, is it like a comedy or is it more serious?
It's a comedy. It is a comedy. Even though some of it comes across like we are taking it seriously. Even though we are not at all. So so yeah. It is a comedy. Plus the channel's not just gonna have like the comic strip on there, but we've got B-roll and stuff that doesn't make it into our episodes.
Oh, nice! Kind of like a gag reel type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and other shit that we do. So yeah, like.
Is it cancel worthy? That's the question.
That depends on
who's watching it.
Who's watching it? Yeah, exactly. That depends on who's watching it, because it's also going to have like slice of life stuff on there, because kind of similar reason why I wanted to start this channel was I wanted what writers actually do, and the fact that we're real people, because a lot of people don't get that. Like, they get this, this idea that we're like, these really highbrow, intellectual edgelords, and that's the only people that can write books. And no, we're, we're not like that at all. I mean, as a writer yourself, would you consider yourself to be like, an overly intellectual,
I guess,
highbrow, like,
I'm not like the stuffy, like, I find stupid books entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that overly asshole type of person who's like, if you're not writing America's next greatest novel, then you should not be writing. If you don't read 47 books in a month, then why are you even writing, you peasant? Like, I don't like those people. It's just like, people can write for whatever they want, and they can write the most cliche and stupid story ever by my reader standards, but you know what? Write the fucking story you want to write. Like, someone out there is bound to like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I like with all my books. I'm just going to write the stories how I want to write them. Mm-hmm. And if people like them, cool. If not, then, oh well. Because at the end of the day, like, and I saw this on Alexa Dunn's channel, like, forever and ever ago. She was talking about writing to market.
Yeah.
And that just feels so fucking dirty to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're not writing to tell the story you actually want to tell. You're writing to sell a fucking book. So to me, you're doing this just to make money. You're literally telling me that the sole purpose of the story you're working on is just to get it traditionally published so it can sell like hotcakes, which then in turn tells me that you're not taking the time it needs to write a good fucking book. You're just going to be regurgitating the same garbage that's in every other fucking book in that category, as we saw with the Ivies. Like, I don't know if you've read it or not.
I perused.
Like, I don't understand. I don't know if it's just because since you have X amount of books already traditionally published, it's just now easier. So you can literally just write a bunch of bullshit and they're going to sell it. But it just goes to show you that there are shit traditional books, just like there are shit self-published books.
Right.
And neither publishing route is better than the other, because we're not getting A quality shit in traditionally published books either. Yeah. So like the people who sorry.
Well, no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so for the people out there who's like, there's only one real way to publish, and that's traditional published people.
Yeah.
It's like I can see both the good and bad in both sides. And sometimes each side just sucks.
Right.
Like, because like publishing or traditional publishers, they want to meet a certain society standard of books. They're not willing to take risks. They're not willing to be canceled. They're not willing to be fucking anything, because the bottom line is money. They don't care about the books.
No.
They care about how much money they're going to make off of that book.
Yeah.
And then self-publishing, it's literally like you can throw up your very first raw, rough draft and just call it a day.
Yeah.
And sometimes those explode.
Oh, yeah. I mean, case in point, 50 Shades. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, but there is sin on both sides, I would say, you know, and the fact that, like you said, you know, all they care about at the end of the day when it comes to traditional publishing is how much money they're making. They don't even care about their authors anymore.
Yeah.
You know, much less the quality of content that's being put out, you know, and showing how much they actually don't care about their readers either.
Yeah. Was it someone... God, I can't remember, like, if it was on one of the last streams. Is that your cat?
No, that is my 3-year-old niece.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. It sounded like meowing.
She probably is. My mom has a cat, and she likes to terrorize her. Sorry. Anyway.
I forgot what I was going to say. It was something like, on one of the past streams. Shit, what was I going to say?
We were talking about self-publishing and traditional publishing. And how traditional doesn't care about their readers or their authors.
Yeah, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Damn it. But it was. I know it was about traditional publishing and how they do certain things with their self-published, or not self-published, their traditional published authors. Oh, yeah, someone brought up like how even in the traditional publishing world, you still have your top dog.
Yes.
And your newbie nobody. And they're going to give all their money and marketing to the, like, big fish and nothing for the little dude. So it's like you're still kind of fighting your way up the totem pole of traditional publishing.
Yeah, I mean, because when you aren't even a mid-list, like, you are literally a nobody, they're going to give you all the people who they need to, you know, audition or cut their teeth on somebody. So you're gonna end up with, you know, as the audition for the cover artist that they choose for you. You're going to end up as the audition for the editor that they're looking to put on staff. You're, you know, those are all the people you're going to end up with. And
you just have to make sure they don't suck.
Right, exactly. You just have to pray and hope that they don't suck and that it's worth you only being given, 10 or 15% of your royalties that you're going to have to split with your agent.
See, and that's like another thing. Like, I like the idea of traditional publishing because it would be nice to be like, well, I'm a traditional published author, just the title alone, and then to be able to go into a bookstore and see your stuff. But then when you really break it down, you've worked X amount of years, or in your case, X amount of months, on a book. Yeah. You've put your heart and soul into this. And then you hand it over to get traditionally published. You get a fraction of the money.
Yeah.
But they cover the editor that if you're a nobody, it's going to be the, like you said, audition. So really it's nothing from them either. And then same with the cover artist. Yeah. And you don't have any control over the cover art. You can't say like, this is exactly what I want the cover to be. They just say, well, this is what we made it.
Yeah. And because this is marketable.
Yeah. And then if it's a new editor, like what if, for like an example, in the Ivies, someone said that her editor actually told her to put in the prologue of like basically the Olivia girl talking about how like, oh, I learned the hard way. And when I read that, I'm like, this is the stupidest shit. Who would have told you to do this?
Yeah.
And then someone in my comment section said like, oh yeah, Alexa said it was her editor that told her to add that. And I was like, well, she fucked you over. Like, big time, because not only do you have that massive info dump, your first 5 chapters are literally the biggest fucking info dump I think I've ever seen in any book I've ever read. It's literally like a lecture on this is college admissions. We don't need to know this shit.
No. Like no. And it's like Tom Clancy's first novel. How you have an editor worth their salt is if they do not tolerate any kind of info dumping whatsoever, because with his like Hunt for Red October, his editor told him that his first go was like reading an instruction manual on how to build and run a Soviet submarine.
And like your readers don't need that. It's like not a lecture. They're not going to school. You just need to give little bits and pieces.
The story. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think like, because I saw the same problem, like what you brought up with the whole, like, you gave us too much information. Like it's a manual on how to do something. I think she did that same thing in Brightly Burning, which is her first book. Because at one point in the book, I was like, okay, this is just pointless at this point. We don't need all this. But then in her second book, since the character wasn't like really fixing anything, we didn't really get that a lot until it came to her magic pea drinking water machine. Right. And then things got a little weird with that. And then now with the Ivies, it's literally just like, I've honest to God was so shocked at the massive info dump. Like, I can't believe no editor would have seen that. It's like, yes, you need to give the reader information of how these things work, because I've never had to deal with college admissions. I just went to in-state school, so I didn't have to fuck around with all that Ivy League bullshit. Yeah. But it's just, it was way too much. It was taken way too seriously. And the real story didn't start until like chapter 5. And that's bad.
It's like, and this is supposed, and this is supposed to be, traditionally published. Most of the time they tell you to throw your readers, well, at least from when I was doing it. And so far as I've seen, now that's still the thing. You throw your readers into the story immediately.
Yeah.
As immediately as you possibly can. Okay, here's your little bit of setup, but what we need is you need some kind of a hook.
Yeah.
You know, what is the thing that's going to slap them in the face and then make them thank you for how well you punched them so that they want to read the rest of the story? You know, is essentially what they go for. So, I mean, not starting your story until, like, chapter 5 or after. It's like, it's very obvious that the person that was their editor may have just really been a glorified proofreader as opposed to actually having these skills.
Yeah, because it's just like on top of the info dump, you have another info dump.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand we needed to know what early decision and what the other fucking thing was.
Yeah.
But it was either repeated. I don't know. It just was not executed all that well to even hold interest. Like there is nothing exciting about college admissions. There just isn't.
There is not.
And the murder itself was like a backdrop to college admissions. That's what it literally felt like. And I don't know. I still need to do my read along for it, but I'm just so like
like I don't want to.
Yeah, because I got halfway through the second chapter, or no, after the prologue, I got halfway through the first chapter, and it's still sitting on my laptop, and I'm like, I have to get back to it. And I was like, I don't want to do it anymore because it's just so.
Yeah. Well, if you want a good mystery, I did a review recently on my channel on here. Anyway, keep forgetting where I am. But anyway, but I have a review on here for The Dark Side of Blue by this guy named Colin Doyle, and he wrote this murder mystery. It's a police procedural, and it's I don't know if you watch like BritBox or BBC or any of that, but it kind of follows that format because you have to follow the investigation of DCI Trent Chambers, and he's called out to this like missing persons situation, and he's not really enthusiastic about it being a missing person at first because he's like, okay, well, she's an heiress.
Oh wait, hold on, the stuff is coming back.
Oh, let's see here. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not really sure that it's actually anything to worry about because she's like 22 years old. She's an heiress, so she's from a really affluent background. She's got money, and so he thinks maybe from having been under the pressure of living in that kind of an environment and in London or wherever, that maybe she decided to pull a disappearing act. After all, she's practically a grown woman, so why is there any cause for concern? This shit happens all the time. Yeah. And then there's the body of a woman discovered, bound and mutilated and gagged and left, out in the elements. And suddenly there is cause for concern. Okay. And it just kind of spirals from there. And it's only like 437 pages, so it's like, it's not...
It's thick, but it's not too chunky.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but it goes so very quickly that it doesn't feel like it's 437 pages. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
is it all about like the police are the ones investigating everything?
Yeah, it's a police procedural. So
I think I've been burnt out on those. I've read so many of them that like I want to read more books where it's like a husband or wife, their friend or their partner was murdered. They're the ones like actively trying to find out who did it, or like a group of friends need to figure something out. Because when I was younger, I used to read all like the detective type stories all the time.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like burnt out on it. But they're still good. I do like them though.
Yeah. So if you're looking for something like that is in the realm of independent publishing and is actually good
I'll have to look
and
into
is
it.
not epic fantasy, because we end up with a lot of that here in independent publishing.
Epic fantasy.
Epic fantasy or science fiction in independent publishing. I don't know if you've noticed.
No. I stick to horror.
Yeah.
And author tube books.
Well, I was just saying, like, the majority of, like, author tube books seem to be
like some kind of fantasy.
Yeah. Some kind of fantasy, yeah. Yeah. Like
I need to find more like horror author tubers.
Yes,
or
exactly.
mystery or paranormal, even like smutty romance. Like those are the books I really want to read because those are the genres I know the most about. But when it comes to like elves and dragons and shit, I'm like, does someone get murdered? Please tell me someone gets murdered.
Yeah, you're like, does everyone die?
Yes. Does the dragon just eat everyone and then he just goes and like takes over the castle and lives out his life happy?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this needs to happen. This needs to happen. Here we go. Okay.
I can't stop nodding.
Oh no. I think it's important to read a variety of stuff. Writers need perspective. Yes. Yes, keep yourself as varied as possible. So your reader's palette and your writer's palette, and we're going to do a challenge about that here soon. I read good, bad, and ugly. We get something out of everything we read, even if we hate it. Yep, especially if somebody's got like really bad reviews on something, I am always tempted to be like, why?
Yeah, like I need to read this for myself to see if I hate it. Because there are some books where people are like, this is pure garbage, where it's like, actually, it's not that bad. And then there's books where it's like all 5 stars, and I'm like, this is the garbage.
Right, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then you find out that they, paid for all of those, preemptive reviews and then had all of the bad ones scrubbed.
I think there's a special place in hell for authors who do that.
Yeah.
Because I've been burned and tricked into buying books because everyone's like, they're so amazing. It's amazing. And I'm like, how? Twilight is better than this shit.
Right. and Twilight, I mean, that, oh gosh, talk about what we were talking about before, like with having an editor that didn't know their shit. Okay. It's like, okay, is English your first language?
I just remember, I haven't read Twilight in so long. All I remember is knowing that Stephanie Myers was like an English major and she would have the simplest sentence structure, but then it was like she opened her thesaurus and was all like, I'm going to use this word. And I'm like, you're writing like a 3rd grader, but then you're using words that are way too difficult just to make yourself sound intelligent, and it just is not flowing well.
And sometimes they were not even words that were actually applicable.
Like they were used completely
to the context. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
She was high.
She was
on that Mormon weed.
On the Mormon weed.
She drank some caffeine and felt adventurous that day.
She got possessed by the moron.
And then now we're gonna have like twihards and like all the middle-aged mommies with like Edward fetishes and
yes.
You know what would be cool though is what if an author was just so sick of all that shit that they purposely wrote a book with everything that pisses them off about what other writers do, like use all the big words wrong. Just the whole book is info dumping. and like every single character is a like caricature of a trope.
Yes.
And they are so cliche. Everyone's a Mary Stu or Gary Stu. The villain is like beyond the mustache twirling villain.
Right.
Like times 10.
Like over the top. Like, yes. I did wake up this morning and decide to be evil because
I got out of the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah.
And my caffeine didn't kick in time before I left my office. That would be a good, like, if it just, and it, like, people knew, like, this is a big fucking joke, it's not a serious novel, then it would be hilarious. But then again, when I think about it, what if people did think it was a serious novel and the author's the only one was like, these people are fucking stupid.
But, you know, then it sells like 147,000 copies in like a day, and, you know.
You get like a 3-set movie deal or a TV show.
Yeah. Yes. Wrong words. Oh my god. Oh, working on more horror. Yes, please.
More horror. You should have like the killer pot fields. Like, what if some stoners happened upon like a giant field of marijuana and they go inside of it and it's like a horror version of like Alice in Wonderland.
Yes,
but with like
tall grass.
Yeah. Oh my god. Instead of the rock and then the tall grass, it's literally like a giant bud.
Yes.
Or a bong.
Yes.
Just touch the bong and you will see the way out.
Touch the bong. But it's like in the shape of a penis.
That could work too.
Well, because that way, you know, people are less likely to touch it and be able to get out.
And it's all dudes. I am not touching that penis.
I am not touching it.
They pull straws. Whoever has the shortest one. And that's literally why they can't get out of the fields of pot, is because no one will just touch the fucking
dick.
Oh my god, like literally all of these things could seriously be short stories, like horror stories for potheads.
Yes. Yes. Nat, you hear us?
You are the short story creator.
Yes.
So we have our whatever that's living in that basement.
Yes.
And now we have the fields of pot. That's like an Alice in Wonderland meets in the tall grass with a giant penis-shaped bong, and it's just all dudes who refuse to touch it because it's gay. I'm not gay.
I didn't know, me. It sounds kind of gay to me. Have a title. LOL. What is your title?
Touch the bong.
Touch the bong.
Or instead of bong, touch the dong.
Oh.
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, yes. What is your title, Nat? Oh. Oh, my goodness. All right.
It's like already 4 o'clock.
Oh, man.
3 hours. We got some writing done, though.
Yes, we did. And we've talked about lots of interesting things. Stoner horror anthology. Yes.
I like it. I like it.
All right. So that will be next stream when you come on here, Nat. you have to tell us your progress on
Stoner horror athology.
On your stoner horror athology. Yes.
And mispronouncing words leads to millions of dollars.
Yes. Yes. All right. So we're going to hold you to it next stream. Okay.
We'll get updates.
Yes, we will get updates. And that will lead up to our short story challenge that what I would like for us to do at some point.
At some point. I'd have to think, yeah. Well, no, if we're going to be doing get a picture, right? And then write a short story.
Yeah.
100,000 words later, I wrote my short story.
Speaking of doing short stories, Zach and I were talking about if you wanted to have Amanda on again.
Ooh, I could ask if she would want to come on.
If you wanted to have Amanda on again, we would have a write-off.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Like during the live? Because I don't know because I know she's a teacher, so I don't know if school's back in session. So she probably wouldn't be able to do like early morning, so it would have to probably be like...
Well, no, I mean, it would be during the live. Like, we could get the audience to give us a prompt. And we take, like, 5-10 minutes. Draft something up. And whoever says better wins.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I'll have to, like on the ones we do on Friday and Saturday, or do you want to...
Yeah.
That would be fun. Sam's moving this weekend, so everything's chaotic, but in the coming weeks, and then hopefully everything with Lisa settles down a bit after she moves too. And then, yeah, I could ask if Amanda would want to come hang out. I think that'd be fun.
Let's do a write-off.
The theme could be stoner horror stories. You have to come up with your own,
Yes. Yes, the theme could be stoner horror stories. And Nat, we are inviting you. Okay?
Yes.
So, yeah.
So the next stream with us two is on my channel, same time, 1 o'clock. Well, she's on my time, PT. On Wednesday.
Yes.
And you are all welcome to come back and hang out because it's fun.
Yep. It is. So I guess we can go ahead and sign off. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. So go down into the abyss that is the description and get all the things, and we'll see you back here.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.